Tonight, we take a closer look at Georgia's new gun law that allows guns in public places, including bars, schools, even churches.
Good evening and welcome to the Daily 11 at 7. Let's get started with our countdown at number 11. Governor Deal signed the controversial bill expanding gun rights here in Georgia today. It allows permit holders to carry weapons in more places. Now, critics call it the Guns Everywhere bill. 11 Live's Doug Richards was at the bill signing today.
What are you carrying today?
45, 6 hour.
The site of the gun bill signing was a buoyantly armed camp, packed with cheery gun supporters who were also packing weapons.
It's a Smith & Wesson M&P.
SIG P938.
That's a handgun?
SIG Extreme, yes.
They were all awaiting the governor who would enact the much criticized bill with his signature.
We should be able to carry a gun anytime, anywhere.
The new law allows gun permit holders new leeway to carry their weapons into some schools, churches, airports, restaurants, and bars. Critics call it the Guns Everywhere bill.
And the danger to those citizens, in particular the most vulnerable citizens in the state, will only grow.
Critics and backers of the law, for differing reasons, agree that expanded gun rights ought to include the building where the law was passed. Should we be able to carry guns into the Capitol?
Absolutely. Anywhere.
A lot of folks in this room would like to see the principles in this bill applied to the state capitol. Why not allow folks to carry guns in the state capitol?
Well, for one thing, we have metal detectors at the state capitol.
Governor, why not allow folks with carry permits to go through the metal detectors with their weapons?
Well, because that is a carved-out area, and it's a uniform carve-out area all across our state.
Is it consistent to allow guns in county courthouses and not allow them in the Capitol?
Well, the county courthouses have the right to exclude them as well.
Those who support the Capitol security system say that it ought to be gun-free because it is a highly charged environment. This gun bill would be Exhibit A. In LJ, Doug Richards, 11 Alive News.
All right, joining me are State Senator Vincent Fort, who has been a very vocal opponent of this bill, and Jerry Henry, Executive Director of Georgia Carry. Gentlemen, thanks so much for lending your voice to this debate this evening. Mr. Henry, I'll start with you. Big day for your group, of course, a victory, as many supporters, yourself included, I'm sure, say it's a victory for the Second Amendment. But critics say it promotes a gun culture, that it's absolutely reckless. How do you respond to that?
Well, I disagree with that because it doesn't do anything to create or to stop anybody other than law-abiding citizens. Any law is not going to stop a criminal.
But I have to add in there, I mean, it sounds like we're setting the scenario for the shootout at the OK Corral. I mean, if you have a crisis situation and somebody comes in with guns blazing or a gun blazing, and you have people already there with guns in hand, then you've got a shootout. You're basically in the Wild Wild West.
That doesn't happen. And if you look at the Wild Wild West, the statistics for crime was a whole lot less in the Wild Wild West than it is here. People don't come into places where people are armed shooting. They come into places like gun-free zones where people are unarmed, and that's where they go in and do their shooting.
All right, Senator Ford?
Well, you know, I'm going to just disagree with Jerry. The fact of the matter is 75 to 80% of the public, by polls that your television station and other news outlets have done, 75 to 80% of the public disagrees with this bill.
So this is not the will of the people?
No, it's not the will of the people.
So how did it get passed in the legislature?
Because the gun lobby is a bully lobby that pushes people around at the state capitol. And the fact of the matter is that Governor Deal and the Republican Party, unfortunately, are in the thrall of that gun lobby. That's how it got passed.
Is this more about Second Amendment rights, or is it more about politics in a political season?
It's about both. But it's more about politics. Pandering. This is the most pandering I've seen. 18 years at the state capitol, Governor Deal's pandering to his far-right extremist elements of his party. It's unfortunate.
What does it say about the notion that Georgia is a purple state now, trending towards becoming a blue state in the next few years? I mean, does this bill put all that to rest?
No, absolutely not. The fact of the matter is, this is the will, as you said, of a very small minority in this state. The fact of the matter is, it is a purple state where in the last two elections, 45%, 47% are the number. So it is a purple state. It's just unfortunate that the Republican Party is being controlled by the gun lobby in this state.
Mr. Henry, let me ask you just sort of about the fallout here. You know, the conventional wisdom is that most Georgia politicians will actually benefit from having supported this bill in the next election go-round. Do you agree with that?
I agree that they probably will. However, I would take umbrage with what our senator said. We're not bullies. I'm not bullying anybody at any time, anywhere. We go in and we state our case and we tell them what we like, what we want, and why we think that it is our right to do so. And anybody else does the same thing. We don't come in and bully people. We don't say you've got to vote or else.
Jerry doesn't bully anybody, but he knows the kind of intimidation that legislators receive.
You see what happens.
I can show you my emails, you know. But the thing is, it makes me want to ask Jerry, is there any place that guns should be excluded from? Is there any place that guns should not be carried? Antonin Scalia, Supreme Court Justice, far right wing, even he says that governments have the right to exclude guns from certain places. Is there any place, Jerry, you don't think we should carry guns?
Prisons and jails. Yes, sir.
Those are the only two places.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, so what's going on with the state capitol? Because guns are not allowed there. We just saw Doug Richards ask the governor. His answer not wholly satisfactory. I shouldn't say not satisfactory at all.
And I won't disagree with that.
That's sort of hypocritical.
We asked for that. We asked for that in our bill. And we've asked for it every time we've asked for government buildings.
So
we've asked for the Capitol for them to allow us to carry. You think
we should be able to carry guns onto the floor of the state Senate and the state House?
Certainly. Why not?
Okay.
And your response to that is?
You know, it just shows, as I said, how extreme this crowd has gotten. Carry guns anywhere, at any time, in elementary schools. College campuses were excluded from this bill.
And some say that this law does not go far enough, that it should include college campuses.
But just to think that a school board could authorize a janitor, a counselor, a teacher in a classroom to carry a gun in a classroom of little kids.
Of students, right.
It's unfortunate,
and I would point out that the mass shootings occur in gun-free zones where no one has a gun, except the shooter that's doing the damage.
All right, last question. What kind of fallout, as far as the election is concerned, what kind of fallout from this do you expect at the ballot box?
I don't expect any.
I think the bottom line is this bill makes us less safe than more safe. I think 80% of the public disagrees with this bill. I think you will see fallout. I think you will see people energized to vote against candidates who want guns everywhere at all times.
Could this law be expanded? I know I said last question, but I have to ask you, could this law be expanded next legislative session?
Certainly.
You think it's got legs?
It could be, but that's why we have elections.
Yes. All right. It's going to be very difficult, but yes, we would like to do so.
Jerry Henry and State Senator Vincent Ford, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I'm Julie Wolf. The Georgia gun debate is crossing state borders on social media. This heat map shows where the 50 million comments containing Georgia and guns are coming from. You can see it's as far away as California and New York. You can dig deeper on 11alive.com, where you'll find a copy of the new law, the 7 changes that are coming, and a breakdown of the political ramifications. We want to hear your opinion. Our text to vote 11 Alive poll is asking, do you approve of the new so-called guns everywhere law? Grab your phone right now and text yes or no to 25543. Julie Wolf, 11 Alive News.